Hey there. Checking in just with a random video for the day. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I've been seeking out professionals to help develop myself in different areas. Even though I've done coaching myself for other clients, I have hired some coaches, which has been super helpful. And the career coach that I've been working with shared some really cool information yesterday about imposter syndrome, which I don't know about you, but I deal with consistently in the various fields that I have experience and even expertise in. I still deal with imposter syndrome. And so it's been interesting to learn about how I show up in the world based on the types of imposter syndrome I deal with. Yesterday we learned about 5 different types of imposter syndrome, but the one that I realized I was operating from specifically in the design sphere, because that's one strength of mine. I went to school for advertising and design. That's my background. I worked in the advertising industry as an art director. I've had a freelance design business since 2005. So quite some time, but still often feel like an imposter in that industry, specifically in the design industry, because my major was advertising and my minor was graphic design. So feeling like I'm not qualified to call myself a designer because that's not what I primarily studied. But so one of the forms of imposter syndrome, there were 2 in particular that I deal with. One was perfectionism, and the other was called the expert. And this person feels like an imposter in the sense that they don't feel like they are truly an expert without having a bunch of certifications or degrees or diplomas or whatever. And so in talking about this type of imposter syndrome, my coach was talking about how these people consistently are seeking out external education, all these things to become validation of their skill set versus, recognizing that they have it. And I realized as she was describing these different symptoms and ways of being, I was like, oh my God, I do that. Like, I'm consistently looking for classes and coaches and workshops. And those things are helpful for growth. It's never been the case where I take something and think this has been a complete waste. I'm not learning anything new. That's not necessarily the case. But there have been instances where I've invested in personal growth, and 70% of what I'm learning in a module or content or something, they're premises that I'm familiar with, and even more so premises that I'm enacting in my career, or whether it be personal or professional. There have been a lot of situations where I've taken things thinking there's not even someone out there. A majority of people out there know more than I know, and I need to elevate to their level. And more often than not, that's not been the case. And that's interesting to learn. It also, one of the things that I've learned is through perfectionism, which is both a armor that we wear to protect ourselves from vulnerability, but also a type of imposter syndrome. I've learned that in different elements of my career, different aspects of the work that I've done with and for people, I've worked from a place of trying to prove my worth versus providing my value and worth to others. And I realized, working from that standpoint is a deficit-based way of working. For example, if I charge what my actual value is, but feel like I'm not worthy of that value, or of that, let me rephrase. If I charge what I'm actually worth for design or coaching or what have you, but feel that I am not worthy of that because of the imposter syndrome, what I tend to do is overwork to compensate for that feeling of inadequacy, that feeling of I don't know what I'm really doing, and if they find out, they'll find out I'm an imposter and I don't know, sue me or ask for money back, which has never happened. Most people are very thoroughly satisfied with the services I provide, with the facilitation I provide, with the designs I do. But I realized with this latest project I'm working with for a client who, by the way, loved the deliverables. I was working from this mindset of, oh my God, I have to prove that I know what I'm doing, or else they'll realize I don't. And so what I end up doing is spending a ton of time researching, which research is helpful. I love research, but researching not for the actual project I'm working on, but researching to validate that I know what I'm doing in the process. And then I end up finding a bunch of resources saying nothing new, and I keep searching for something to be new to help me be like, oh, that's what I was missing in order to do what I need to do. But more often than not, I end up searching for hours, reestablishing that I know what I know, and then I've wasted the majority of the time I could have been actually producing on reaffirming that I know what I'm doing and then doing it. And it's such a backwards way of working. And so what I want to do to help counter imposter syndrome in myself and step away from that perfectionism and just really own what I know, knowing that I continuously can know more and grow more, and curiosity has a place in the world, in my mind. I want to make a good effort to share what it is I know, from a place of just like, this is the skills that I have. These are the skills that I have. This is the knowledge that I have. Not necessarily from an expert's lens, but also not from a person who's inadequate. Not from that lens either. So what I hope to do over the next few days of sharing is share a tool that I developed, a few tools that I've developed for personal growth monitoring, how I built these tools out so that you, if you would like to, can build them out, and then how I've been using them. In the past, I showed like some of my personal review tools and my life planning tools, things like that. I've built this system out in an amazing software called Airtable, which makes it easy to customize and update and track a lot of different things. So I've built out an Airtable my goals, my life vision, my bucket list, some artist date ideas, my monthly review, a lot of different things. So I'm going to show you what those tables look like, walk you through, if you're interested, and people reach out and say that we're interested in how the steps to actually building this out. I can either share the template for the table or walk you through building this out. So that's what I hope to be sharing soon. And again, I'm just getting back in the I'm being vulnerable here. Getting back in the habit of just posting every day. So I don't at this point have an exact idea of what I'm trying to share or an intention. The intention is making a video every day, is being vulnerable, getting in front of a camera, saying things, and sharing it with the world. That's what this exercise is for. So I'm going to eat some mangoes and then go to bed and talk to you tomorrow. So I don't know if there's any nuggets in this video that will nourish your mind, body, or soul. Hopefully there's a twinkle of some. And I hope you also remember that change is inevitable, but growth is a choice. I'm Brady Keeler, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.